So far on Shades of Green, we have explored everything from the power of the sun, the wind, and even used up cooking oil. Today, however, we are going to take an in-depth look into one of the most interesting and innovative alternative energies available, geothermal power.
Power Engineers is a global leader in the geothermal energy market. We started out as a small transmission company in Idaho and have now grown to 3 focus groups: communications, facilities, and energy. Within our energy group, we do both transmission, distribution, and power generations.
As one of the biggest names in renewable energy, Power Engineers is responsible for the design of over 500 megawatts of new geothermal power generation capacity in many places throughout the world.
Geothermal energy uses the natural heat from the center of the earth to create electricity.
The geothermal plant is essentially the means, the mechanisms, the equipment that we use to take the geothermal energy and turn it into electricity so that it can go out over the lines and be used by people.
Geothermal energy can be found where there's a combination of both heat and liquid. Typically, the Ring of Fire has excellent potential for geothermal power. The Ring of Fire includes California, the Northwest, Alaska, Russia, Japan, Indonesia and the Philippines, New Zealand, and Central and South America. We can also find geothermal energy in rift zones, such as the Great African Rift in Kenya and Iceland.
Geothermal power plants are unique and unusual, so in addition to direct design, planning, and engineering, Power Engineers also helps their clients apply the appropriate technology that is going to achieve the client's goals and objectives.
One of the things that's unique about geothermal plants is every one of them is a one of a kind. I mean, we're not like building V8 engines for cars. Each one has to look at what the resource characteristics, how much energy does it have in it, what's the chemistry of it, what are the flow rates that we have available, what is the area that it's in, because the atmospheric conditions impact the design of the plant. So every plant is unique.
To determine the viability of a plant site, we generally need to go do some exploratory drilling using some slim hole techniques, and then, if those prove out, we'll often drill a production well.
Although finding a resource and getting approval are big steps, there are still bigger steps ahead. The question is how to make a successful power plant, a plant that is a good neighbor and makes the best use of the geothermal resource.
The difference between a successful and unsuccessful project is in the planning of a geothermal power plant.
There's always the issue, the fact that you have to drill all the wells up front, which makes it expensive to get going. Once the resource is all drilled, though, you don't have to worry about price fluctuations in natural gas or oil or otherwise because it's already set. So you basically bought your fuel for the next 30 years.
Power is currently developing a project in the geysers of California. Shades of Green gets up close and personal with the birth of their latest venture.
A geothermal power plant starts with production wells. Those wells lead to an energy conversion device, such as a turbine, and a cooling system. The turbine spins the generator, which creates electricity, which is transmitted on the power lines.
The men and women of Power are engineers who sincerely love to do what they do. Their projects can be found anywhere from California to Indonesia. Power became prominent in the geothermal industry, in part, because of the efforts of Bill Lewis.
We've been doing it for a long time. It is something that's almost a contribution to the world. At the same time, it's fun, it's exciting. Every plant is different, every resource is different. It's an expanding field, so we're in a position where we look to expand with it. And we have to say we have a lot of great young guys and gals that are working with us, and we expect that to continue to grow.